Welcome to my YouTube channel. The Palestinian refugee crisis is one of the most protracted crises in modern history, with millions of Palestinians displaced and denied their right to return to their homeland. The right of return is a fundamental human right recognized by international law, but it has been denied to Palestinian refugees for more than 70 years. The ongoing conflict in the region has only served to exacerbate the situation, leaving millions of Palestinians in a state of limbo, unable to return to their homes and forced to live in refugee camps with limited access to basic necessities such as water, food, and education. In this video, we will explore the history of the Palestinian refugee crisis, examine the legal and moral arguments supporting the right of return, and discuss potential solutions to address this ongoing humanitarian crisis. Understanding the Palestinian refugee crisis, a brief historical overview. To truly address the Palestinian refugee crisis, it is crucial to delve into its historical roots. Understanding the complex and deeply rooted nature of this crisis is essential in fostering empathy and finding sustainable solutions for those affected. The Palestinian refugee crisis traces its origins back to the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, also known as the Nakba, meaning catastrophe in Arabic. During this war, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were forcibly displaced from their homes and became refugees in neighboring countries, such as Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and Egypt. The Nakba resulted in the creation of the State of Israel and the dispossession of Palestinian land. Since then, the number of Palestinian refugees has only grown, with subsequent conflicts and wars exacerbating the crisis. The 1967 Arab-Israeli War, for instance, led to the displacement of even more Palestinians, particularly from the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip. Today, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, estimates that there are over 5.6 million registered Palestinian refugees, making it one of the largest and most protracted refugee crises in the world. These refugees face a multitude of challenges, including limited access to basic services, restricted mobility, and uncertain legal status. The right of return is a fundamental aspect of the Palestinian refugee crisis. UN General Assembly Resolution 194, adopted in 1948, affirms the right of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes and receive compensation for their losses. However, the implementation of this resolution has been a subject of contention and remains unresolved to this day. Addressing the Palestinian refugee crisis requires a comprehensive approach that acknowledges the historical injustices and seeks to find a just and lasting solution. It involves not only ensuring the rights and well-being of the refugees themselves but also addressing the underlying political, social, and economic factors that perpetuate their displacement. By understanding the historical context of the Palestinian refugee crisis, we can begin to grasp the magnitude of the challenges faced by Palestinian refugees and work towards promoting a just resolution that respects their rights and dignity. Only through such understanding can we strive for a future where all people, regardless of their background, can live in peace and security. The right of return, a fundamental principle in international law. The right of return is a fundamental principle in international law that holds immense significance in addressing the Palestinian refugee crisis. Rooted in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and further reinforced by various United Nations resolutions, this principle recognizes the inherent right of individuals who have been displaced or forced to flee their homes to return to their place of origin or choose to be compensated for their losses. For the Palestinian people, the right of return holds deep historical and cultural significance. Since the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were displaced, leading to the creation of one of the largest and longest-standing refugee populations in the world. These refugees, along with their descendants, have been denied their right to return to their homes, resulting in ongoing displacement, human rights violations, and a protracted humanitarian crisis. The right of return is not only a matter of justice but also a key component for achieving a lasting and comprehensive resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It represents the recognition of the Palestinian narrative, the acknowledgement of their collective trauma, and the imperative to rectify historical injustices. However, the issue of the right of return is complex and has been a subject of intense debate and negotiation. It poses significant challenges in terms of practical implementation, ensuring the rights and security of all parties involved, and finding a balanced and mutually acceptable solution. Addressing the Palestinian refugee crisis requires a comprehensive approach that takes into account the legal, political, and humanitarian dimensions. It necessitates meaningful engagement by all relevant stakeholders, including the international community, regional actors, and the parties directly involved in the conflict. Efforts should focus on creating conditions conducive to the exercise of the right of return, including addressing the legal and political obstacles, ensuring the safety and well-being of returnees, and providing appropriate mechanisms for compensation and reparation. Ultimately, the right of return is not only a legal principle but a fundamental human right that deserves attention, understanding, and active pursuit. It is an integral part of any just and sustainable resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and its realization holds the potential to bring about long-awaited peace, reconciliation, and stability in the region. Challenges and complexities surrounding the right of return. The right of return for Palestinian refugees is a deeply complex and contentious issue that lies at the heart of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. It refers to the principle that Palestinians who were displaced from their homes during the creation of the State of Israel in 1948, as well as their descendants, have the right to return to their original homes and lands. However, implementing this right presents numerous challenges and complexities. One of the main challenges is the sheer number of Palestinian refugees and their descendants, estimated to be in the millions. The return of such a large population would have significant political, social, and economic implications for both Israel and Palestine. Furthermore, many of the original homes and lands from which Palestinians were displaced in 1948 have since been inhabited or developed by Israelis. This raises questions about property rights and the practicality of physically accommodating the return of Palestinians to their exact pre-1948 locations. Another challenge is the political stalemate and lack of consensus on this issue between Israelis and Palestinians. The right of return is seen by Palestinians as a fundamental and non-negotiable right, while Israelis have voiced concerns about the demographic impact and potential threat to the Jewish character of their state. The right of return is also intricately linked to broader peace negotiations and the resolution of other core issues such as borders, settlements, and the status of Jerusalem. Achieving a comprehensive and mutually acceptable solution to the Palestinian refugee crisis requires addressing these interconnected challenges and complexities in a way that respects the rights and aspirations of both Palestinians and Israelis. It is important to recognize that the right of return is not only a legal and political issue but also a deeply personal and emotional one for Palestinian refugees and their descendants. For them, the right of return represents a symbol of justice, identity, and the desire to reclaim their ancestral homes and lands. Addressing the challenges and complexities surrounding the right of return requires a comprehensive and nuanced approach. It necessitates engaging in serious dialogue, fostering trust between the parties involved, and exploring creative solutions that take into account the rights, security, and aspirations of both Palestinians and Israelis. Only through such efforts can progress be made towards a just and lasting resolution to the Palestinian refugee crisis. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe to this channel and don't forget to turn on the notification button for more amazing videos.